going to look at the Hubble telescope today, again looking at how ridiculous all this space stuff is, the claims, etc., the proof. Hubble telescope status. Telescope was still operational as of the 24th of April 2020. Okay, so we've got that as a reference. Hubble pictures. Let's see what this incredible futuristic telescope flying through a vacuum gives us. Some beautiful images. Essentially it's all CGI, isn't it? All CGI. I typed in pictures today, yeah. It's all CGI. So Hubble, it would seem, essentially produces CGI. So how much does this cost? Okay, rough guide. It costs about 98 million a year to operate. This is 2016, so inflation and all that nonsense is going to cost more. But we'll just say $98 million a year for this Hubble telescope with its team, etc., to stay operational and provide CGI images like we've just seen. I mean, look at the nonsense that they're giving us. Cosmic faces, cosmic dicky bows. Ridiculous. I mean, I should just go into the space industry and launch my own space telescope and come in a lot cheaper than Hubble. I'll tell you what was it, 98? I'll come in at 33, like that number, $million, NASA. I'll undercut ya, alright? I'll have to use a different camera. Right, okay, give me a minute, let me get my organisation set up, 2 secs. Okay, this is the launch of Leo1, which is a lower Earth orbit satellite telescope. You can see it's an unusual style, just to give you some idea of scale, because the camera zoomed in from a mountain here. It's 200 feet tall, okay, to give you some idea. So let's have a look at the launch, and already we've beamed back some data. The launch happened a week ago. We've beamed back some data now. I couldn't be happier with the results, to be honest. First, let's check the launch out. Incredible, incredible. The technology I'm using here is very much different to the traditional rocketry which we see. When I get to a certain height and the rocket explodes, the fairing explodes out. The telescope then explodes, continues going forward, but in cloaking mode. Reduces the weight and everything, and it stays in cloaking mode until it gets into the lower Earth orbit at my desired height. Okay, so we lose sight of it upon the fairing exploding, just so you understand what's going on here, guys. Okay, so let's have a look. Well, it was an incredible launch, very successful, and as you can see, it went into cloak mode there. I can assure you it's gone into space, and I have imagery to prove it. Bear with me. So not only was the launch a success using new technology, and of course the telescope wasn't damaged, I've pointed it in different directions at the start of the mission in places it's never been pointed before, and already I've had incredible success in locating things that have never been seen before. So already I'm able to justify big bucks here for this telescope mission and all the team that go with it, my backing staff, because here on our screens, this is one of the most successful images In the early days, we had a lot of problems early on. And when this finally came back, we were ecstatic. This is known as Tron's Wall. This is an area we're keen to explore. Should we win the contract, remember we're coming in 1/3 of the cost here of Hubble, and we want to obviously explore Tron's Wall, which we feel could be an incredible district to look, explore, do experiments, and who knows what we're going to discover in that region. Then as the Leo telescope started to get further and further away from Earth, we started to see things that had never been seen before. For example, this dark star galaxy. We'd love to send a probe to this area to find out what's going on here. Of course, that's going to cost money. Again, this is an incredibly interesting area in the heliocentric space we'd love to explore. Again, lots of money. But as you can see, we've got pictures here as proof of this incredible place in the sky that you must want to explore, surely. And it gets better because we've discovered things, like I said, that Hubble couldn't even dream of. Porcupinus. We think this is the death of a CGI graphic. We think it's blowing up and exploding outwards. We think it could be an old Commodore 64 graphic. We're not entirely sure. Again, we would need to explore that region. I can't believe Hubble hasn't spotted and found these areas. But again, this has just left an opening for the Leo telescope to excel and spot things that have not been seen by human eyes before. Then we came across this mysterious region. We don't know what this is. Is it magnetic? We don't know. We just don't know. Perhaps someone's looking at this resonates with something. I don't know. We really have no idea about this. We'd like to put a thermal imaging scope on our Leo1 telescope, but again, comes down to cost, and we'd have to work alongside the Indian Space Agency there, keeping the cost down. Again, that's things in the future. But this is incredibly scientific. Obviously, with the pictures I've shown you, is a proof that the telescope itself, in fact, let me show you the telescope. Here it is. Again, costs were kept low. I'm able to control it via a calculator in my front room as well, which is incredibly handy. Now, I should tell you this. This was one of the most exciting things about the whole mission so far. As I was leaving Earth and getting further and further away from the heliocentric graphic, I was able to turn around Leo1 and face back and look at the Earth for the first time. And this is an incredible first. We were able to spot the Earth at a distance. Of course, it's quite difficult to work out, but we were able to zoom in closer. And finally, Leo1 was able to get a proper look at the Earth in all its glory. As we say, the globe Earth on the pantomime stage in the heliocentric space. Being silly and not messing about a bit, but just showing you how ridiculous this Hubble nonsense is. It's ridiculous. A firework goes off. We get shown CGI images it cost nearly $100 million a year. Ridiculous. Let me give you an artist impression of my mission. There's my telescope looking at the Earth. I'll come in at 33 million a year, alright? That's how ridiculous the Hubble is. This is supposedly backing the ridiculous claims that we live on a cannonball flying through a vacuum. Clearly ridiculous, as I can set up an equally ridiculous telescope mission, i.e. the Leo1, for probably a couple of quid on my phone. And yet NASA are charging it 98 million a year. Please wake up, folks. It's all nonsense.